Welcome back to the channel, you guys. Hope you're having an excellent day today. In this video, we're going to do a little makeover of this really cool JA-90 Telecaster. Let's check it out. So I've done a full review of this guitar. If you missed that, you can check it out by following the link above. But basically I go through all the weird and quirkiness of this guitar. It's titled something like Checking Out Fender's Strangest Telecaster because of the set neck, the 24 3/4 scale length, the P90 pickups, Gibson style controls and hardware. Makes for a really unique guitar. Now that being said, I absolutely love this guitar. I wouldn't be modding it otherwise. So here's what we're gonna do to the guitar. So the goal today is to address the weak points on this guitar, take it from a great mid-range instrument to a fantastic guitar that can compete with, the most expensive guitars on the market. So here's what we're gonna do. First of all, tuning machines gotta go. Made in Indonesia, they're basically Squire tuning machines. They get the job done, but if you want a high-end performance guitar, they gotta go. Secondly, I think some of the tuning issues maybe are happening on the bridge as well. Tuning machines are not great, but the bridge I think hangs up on the strings a little bit as well. And also aesthetically, you sort of have this black and natural wood aesthetic going, and the chrome hardware just looks out of place to me. So we're gonna black that out. I think that'll match the whole guitar better, and we're gonna use some string saver kind of saddles on here as well, which should help with the tuning. And finally, the pickups. Man, I love the P90s in a Tele, but these things hum like crazy. So we're gonna try to find a noiseless set of P90s that can really emulate the tone and character and soul of a P90, but without the hum. So there we go, the goal is set. We're gonna try to take this guitar up to the next level. Let's check out the parts. Now as for the bridge and the tailpiece, we're gonna be using the GRAPHTECH ResoMax harmonic bridge system. Never used these before, but I've used string saver saddles like a lot of us have, and the GRAPHTECH ratio tuners, which are fantastic. So thought I'd take a chance on these guys, and basically you've got the string saver saddles like right built in. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that. Probably not, but anyway, yeah, GRAPHTECH string savers for this style of bridge. So should help with the tuning and string breakage. We'll check them out. Now as for the pickups, we're going to be using a set of JBE soap bar pickups, and there's a simple reason for that. So the reason I'm going with JBE is simply this. Of all the noiseless single coils I've used over the years, only two really stood out to me. First of all, the JBE single coils and the Gatton set, they have a great reputation, and the Fralin split blades. Probably those two pickups of all the ones I've used do the best job of getting all the frequency right, the feel right, but eliminating the noise. So I've got high hopes that these will sound like the Seymour Duncans because I love the sound of the stock pickups. They're just super noisy. So hopefully this will get, the sound and the feel very close, but get rid of all that hum. And finally, we've got some blacked out GRAPHTECH ratio locking tuners. So between the string saver saddles on one end and the locking tuners on the other, we should be good to go. So we've probably got about half this guitar's value in additional parts. Like I said before, you're not gonna do this unless you really love the instrument. That being said, I picked this guitar up used, and when you buy used instruments, sometimes it does open up the budget a little bit to, mod it or expand it or make it your own, which is a lot of fun. So sometimes, buying used and modding the guitar, you can still get a much better guitar for, what you would pay for a new guitar. So anyway, that's what we're doing today. Let's get to modding. All right, so I've gone ahead and removed the strings, which means the hardware is just gonna fall right off. The new stuff is locking, so that's gonna be nice. And the adjustment screws for the intonation is on the backside, facing away from the pickups. It doesn't really matter. It's just, which way you can actually access those screws the best, whether it's this way or that. Now, step number one is we're gonna try to remove these bushings and put in the GRAPHTECH ones. Now, that being said, once the tailpiece is on, you're never really gonna see them, but let's try to take them out. There are a few tricks. I'm just gonna try it this way. So I've just got some packing foam to, protect the face of the guitar, notched out. Then I've got a wrench like this because we need some clearance for this bushing to be pulled up. Then I've got a big old washer and the stock hardware. So what we're gonna do is try to thread that down into the bushing and keep everything in place because we don't want to mess up the face of our guitar. And as we screw this down, hopefully it should pull that bushing up. So here we go. Let's try it out. Now, it's gonna take some force, so I'm just gonna kind of lean into it. That is tight. Oh boy. Oh, there we go. I can feel it loosening. Now, as we screw down, hopefully that bushing is just popping right up. Okay, now it seems like I've run out of room there. I might have to put another washer or even stack some wrenches. Once you have enough clearance, even a socket would work, but I didn't have shallow enough sockets. So let's see what we got here. Oh yeah, perfect. Okay, so there we go. That is awesome. So like I said, this is not essential. You know, if you don't care, just leave them in. But I thought I'd try it since, you know, I haven't done it personally, so it's always interesting to try something new. Okay, this should do it. We've got our wrench and our pliers stacked. Hopefully, if there's enough clearance, we should get it right out. That feels like we got her. There we go. Okay, so bushing number 1 is out, and we can install the new one. And after that, the stock GRAPHTECH ones do not fit. So this is an import guitar. If you were to do this on an American style guitar, I'm sure the GRAPHTECH ones and the stock ones would be the exact same size. So after all that, the stock ones gotta go back in. So we'll put it back in with a rubber mallet very carefully and get on with the installation. So these things happen when you take on projects, no big deal. Like I said before, you won't even see them once the tailpiece is on, but I thought I'd try. So anyway, check this out. GRAPHTECH stuff has magnets on the inside. So there you go. Totally magnetic, very, very slick. So what we're gonna do is screw them in. Thankfully the posts are the same thread, so no problem there. We'll just put those babies on and then boom, magnets. Step number 2 is gonna be adding the bridge. So let's pull out these posts. There we go. I'm not even going to try to take out these bushings. I think we'll just leave those the same, set them aside, and here we go. Now the GRAPHTECH bridge has these beautiful angled string saver saddles, very cool, and on the bottom, magnets as well to keep everything in place. So just like with the stock bushings on the tailpiece, we had to use the stock hardware as well, but the bridge at least slips right on top, and the black definitely looks a lot better and suits the guitar much better, I think, than the stock chrome. Now heading over to the headstock, things could not be easier. All we have to do is remove our little retaining bolts here, and there's not even any screws on the backside. The tuning machines will just pop right out as soon as we pull off the nut. There we go. And the new ratio tuners will pop right in. No fuss, no muss. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start by removing the string trees. I'm hoping the staggered height tuning machines will help us eliminate some of these string trees. So I'm gonna start by pulling both of them right off, and if we have to install the first and second string one, I will do so, but if we can avoid it, I'm gonna try to avoid it. Now, because the pins on these ratio tuners are the exact same as are found on Squier guitars and on this Telecaster, no modifications necessary. No, drilling and screwing holes on the back, no reaming out the tuning machine holes. So literally no mods. All you have to do is put it in, snug these up. We'll come in after and tighten them up, but for now, we're just gonna hand tighten them, and that's all there is to it. So here's what the ratio tuners look like on the back of our Telecaster. As I mentioned, no modifications needed at all. They drop right in. Just make sure that you have the right order, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because each tuning machine has its own unique internal mechanism, which makes the ratio work. Very cool, and I think they're gonna look awesome with our natural black aesthetic. All right, we've got our blacked out hardware on our tailpiece, bridge, and tuning machines. Time to do the pickups. So on P90s, there's 2 screws that hold the pickup in. So let's start by removing those babies. And we'll set them aside in case we need to use them. I'm sure the JBEs come with their own hardware, but we might as well keep them. They're very, very long screws, so there we go. Pickup cover off, and there you go. There's the stock Seymour Duncan P90s. All right, so now it's just a matter of unsoldering our Seymour Duncans and putting in our JBEs. This right here is our neck pickup. This is our bridge pickup. So it's got a ground to the top of the pot and on the first lug. So let's just unsolder those. All right, you guys, I'm back. We've got our new JBE noiseless P90s connected. It's all soldered up. I think the whole aesthetic looks much better now with the blacked out hardware. Matches everything on the back as well with our GRAPHTECH ratio tuners. And of course the new stop tail piece with the string saver saddles. So I've recorded a stock clip before we did any of these mods. And let's just do sort of an A-B comparison. I even threw on the same original strings. Here we go, let's have a listen. All right, you guys, we're ready to do some tones. We've got the guitar plugged straight into the Rev G4 pedal into my Blue Angel amp, mic'd up with the Sennheiser E906 mic. This thing is dead quiet. So volume all the way up. There's no gate, there's no weird processing. It's just the guitar and the amp. That's it. When you're not playing, there's no hum, there's no buzz, dead quiet, which for P90s is insane. Just dead quiet. It sounds amazing. So what we're going to do now is listen to the stock tones, okay, where you can hear some of the buzz. And we're hoping that, you know, I love the stock tone. The Seymour Duncans sound amazing. They're just really noisy. So we're hoping that these JBEs will sound close, but without the noise. That's a huge check. There's zero noise. So that's awesome. Let's listen to both tones. Here we go. So at the end of it all, how did we do? Well, I've got to say, on the noiseless account, these things are dead quiet. I've played some noiseless pickups before where, you know, some of the hum and the buzz gets mitigated, but some of it's still coming through. These are dead quiet, just silent. When you're not playing, there's nothing coming through. And when you are playing, awesome sounding P90s. I think compared to the Seymour Duncans, these ones had maybe a touch more clarity. which is great. So they don't just sound like another set of humbuckers or something like that. They still have a P90 tone, a little bit more clarity, and for me, they weren't quite as hot. Those Seymour Duncans were super hot. So anyway, yeah, huge success for me in terms of noiseless, and I think they sound great. Now, in terms of the rest of the project, the GRAPHTECH hardware is excellent. As I mentioned before, I've used the ratio tuners and I knew what to expect. I'm using one string tree on the E and the B string. The other one's actually under the strings. I just didn't have wood filler, so I didn't want to look at the hole. So it's actually not doing anything, but I am using the one. It's actually not, bending the string down too much. So shouldn't be a huge friction point, and it is a GRAPHTECH one too, so there shouldn't be any binding. And the string saver saddles are absolutely amazing. So the only problems we ran into today were the bushings, so stock bushings under the tailpiece and the bridge, but all things considered, not too bad. So I'll link to all the parts I used in today's video. You can check those out in the video description below. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Take care.